Hello and welcome to the Meshworking Room in World Unity Week 2022. We are the Spirit of Canada Dialogue Project coming to you with our take on listening beyond division in the cities in this Meshworking Cities room. And I'd just like to invite Danalia Castel to start us off with an opening ceremony. She's been helping everyone listen into the listening field all week through World Unity, and so she'll just be connecting us into that greater field at worldunityweek.org.
Blessings and greetings, everyone. Whew. It's an honor to be here with you. And to invite in those nature relatives that we know and love. Some of them we pass each day on our walk where we live. Others we have known since childhood. And even some mountains or elder trees we have admired from afar. So I'd like to open by acknowledging and giving thanks to all of our relatives, human, nature, fairy, nature spirits, even ascended masters and the great angelic host. At this great time on earth, all beings of light are gathering with us, supporting us, encouraging us to find new ways of relating to each other and to our other earth inhabitants in ways that are unified and in peace, honoring the beauty and the uniqueness of what we each bring in totality, creating the climate of peace through unity towards a thriving world for all of life. Ooh. We welcome all beings of light, shining our love so bright, holding deep reverence for all. Beauty in diversity, we call upon thee. Guide our way. Create with us this day. Thank you, all beings and relatives of light and love, for connecting with our hearts and inspiring us to co-create beauty with you, for you, and for the climate of consciousness emerging on our planet. Let us begin.
Thank you, Danalia. Yes, always getting us right in there with such beauty. Thank you. Yeah, I'd like to start off by giving a brief presentation about the Spirit of Canada Dialogues project and what we've been doing with our Listening Beyond Division work, and our vision, and then we'll get into some storytelling about where we see beauty in the city and create some beauty together. So this is our co-created logo. We tuned in to get to this. It has lots of different roots underneath, connecting us all together in one forest that has people and animals, nature, and the built environment. So we're the spirit of the land and peoples of Canada. So we think of it as bigger than just the legal country of Canada, but the whole history of this big great area. And our purpose is to support listening beyond division, to support being beyond division for the best for all of us. We have a vision that we could have dialogue hosts across the country, and that it was just normal practice. It was just like, of course, whenever there's some kind of challenging, difficult decisions to be made, that we come together, and we talk, and we share, and it's held in a way that we're not getting angry at each other, but we are addressing the conflict and the tensions that need to be worked through in respectful ways. And that's how we come up with really good projects together, and get funded and create the Canada we want together. So it's facing the challenges and expanding the possibilities in a national community of practice. So we invite anyone who's called to be part of this movement of true listening beyond division to join in with us on our Thursday calls and start being part of this community of practice. Because if we don't lead and we don't come together, what we end up getting is a vicious cycle that pulls us apart. It's natural, it's instinctual. It's if we're not trying, this will be what happens. So there are competing tensions of one value versus another, economy and environment, or all sorts of different tensions. But it's how we respond to these tensions that's so crucial. Do we separate into our own little columns and get our own information and start thinking the other people are crazy, and then start blaming and shaming and fighting to get our way, and then we're not listening at all, because if you're on the other side, you're just a terrible person, and I'm afraid of you, and I'm afraid of your people being in power. And then we increase the division, increase the conflict, and it comes to head on the streets, and then we have to use physical force to sort it out. So this is the pattern we just really saw happening in Ottawa recently with the Freedom Convoy, people feeling so unheard. They took to the streets with big loud honkers trying to get heard, and other people feeling like, how dare you be terrible people doing this. So that's what we got, and then we have to come to force to try and to figure it out. When we really know what we want to create is a virtuous cycle. So what if listening from the heart becomes just the way we do things around here? What if we approach those very same tensions of which way do we do it? What are the subtleties of the system we're creating, that some people, we do something that benefits the all, but a few people really raw deal out of it. So how do we massage that and make sure that it works for more people? So we get really curious about those tensions and have more subtlety in the way that we apply the rules to the land, and we increase the understanding, the trust, and the openness in the process. So then we can negotiate for creative solutions. So we get there. We believe the best way we know so far is we get there by hosting dialogue, coming down to the heart, and stop fighting about all the facts of what's true and what's not in this detail and that twisted news story, and just come down this heartfelt listening space. And if you can be, and we need people to host these spaces because that's a profound service to our communities. So we share the expertise, we share the experiences on both sides. What's breaking your heart on both sides of any tension? What is it that we really care about? Because it's really the same for both of us. We don't, of course, we all want freedom and unity and good health. But what is it that we really care about that's not being attended to, and how do we attend to that? And how do we create more of that? Is that what we want? So that's the virtuous cycle that we can build together, and we need a network of that across the country. And listening from the heart just becomes the way we do things around here. And that can be a light to the world. So how are we practicing this in our dialogues? What are we doing? So we're practicing bringing together for people for different types of dialogue. So dialogue means a flow of meaning. So we're taking that loose interpretation, so it can be very many ways that we can have a dialogue, but there's some common threads that we're pulling out as we do them. We did some BOEM dialogues where the facilitator really just invites everyone to just really come present. Really slow down and just say what's really present. So that's a form of dialogue. So there's really no facilitation in it, but and it deepens as we go. So we did a couple of those, and those were really engaging for people. It really changes the space. Yeah. And we've also brought in amazing professional speakers like Lisa Hadigan, who told her story about from being drawn into a neo-Nazi organization because it met a lot of her needs of belonging and being loved as an immigrant in Canada from a communist country. It met some needs she had, but eventually she realized, geez, I'm being manipulated and this violence isn't the right thing. And so she tells that story and how she helps people now to not be radicalized by that type of pull. We had a community group come to us and say, we were part of the convoy and we're intelligent, loving people, and we're really trying. We really believe in what we're talking about, but we got labeled as terrible racists, and now no one will talk to us. And when people have community dialogues, it's all the other side. And how can we listen to and talk to each other? Can you help us facilitate some conversations? So that's what we've been doing recently, and we're going to continue that in the fall. And so that's the vision sort of coming true of like, yes, this is what we're here for. They're like, we don't know how to facilitate this. We're like, we do. And so we just found a way to make it really safe to bring different groups together and be listened to. And you just feel the healing just in being able to tell your story in a circle and to be listened by the others was just a first step in that spiral. We also go deeper with our dear Dana Leah, bringing us into what if we really honor the wisdom of nature and we really take some time to connect in with it, realize that we are nature and that we can access wisdom with our nature elders. Trees, water, and rocks can actually be companions and supports. And you don't have to talk about that to everyone if it seems a bit weird to some, but it's a really supportive personal practice that you can do, and you get deep, beautiful wisdom. And then you can, when you go out into the world and when you host your dialogues, you've got that wisdom behind you, and it gives you energy. And recently we've part of the pattern we're seeing in this is that we want to see what's breaking our hearts. We want to come down to the heart level and explore what's breaking and really open that up. And then after that, we can turn to the future and say, okay, and what are we dreaming? What's coming to us that we want to create? So we brought the dreamer of Canada in one day, and Val brought us so beautifully into this vivid future possibility, and that each person was in their own space, and we brought it all together into into an artwork. And so we thought for today, for World Unity Week, it would be good to follow in that kind of fun and beauty, because that's kind of the energy of World Unity Week. So we'll be doing the beauty and the city today. So we have the dreamers back, but we're in the capital city this time to share some stories and make some beauty in this context. Yeah, and I just see this possibility that we're building together as a light, that Canada can be a shining example if we build it together, that it's a place where it's possible, that it's open enough, that even when we're fighting, we're still quite sweet. We're still quite nice to each other. So we can show how this is possible as a bit of a demonstration to the world. So, all right, so let's move into us sharing.
That's so beautiful, Kara. Yeah, so let me just go back to that beautiful image that you put on the screen of that beautiful woman that's in the Beauty and the City, and just recalling that in our listening as a community into the field of what wants to come forward next, the impulse that we listened to about the dreamer of Canada to dream a beautiful Canada felt to us while there was this sort of division going on in our culture, that we wanted to do something that ignited and touched beauty together. And we had an intuitive understanding from the field that in doing this, we'd be bringing people together. So the touch of beauty in the city, this beautiful theme that we're proposing today, is about that unifying eternal frequency of beauty. It is so difficult to stand in front of a beautiful sunset with another human being that you're angry at and stay angry. It'll totally take you over. Your heart will get full, and before you know it, you'll just be looking at each other all gooey. So, so, so what we want to play with today is the experiences that we can have in our cities. Yes, there's so many beautiful experiences in the country, and we're not saying no country, but the whole theme in this meshworking context is the integration of urban and rural, but really in the city. So, as an example, some of us live in really beautiful cities. Some of us, it's a range, isn't it? But we can always find something. So, I live in Ottawa, Canada, and it is a beautiful city. And one of the experiences in beauty can be a physical experience. It can be relational experience. It can be going to a museum and seeing art, which would be physical. In my case, there's a magnificent park not very far from where I live. I live in the city, and being able to go there and be in nature, and then seeing something beautiful like a hawk coming all the way down into the bush, which you don't normally see in the city, but I did, and picking up a garter snake and flying off with it. For me, it just felt like such a beautiful moment in my city. Another beautiful coincidental moment that connects with Danielia's work today in the listening field on climate. She invited us to relate to climate. And during that quiet, when we were listening, I went out to my backyard. I'm in the city. I have trees and seeds were all over the place, and I felt the impulse to listen beyond my mind's division and just go with this heart space, and began to clean my patio. And I just was wondering what climate said. I wasn't about cleaning up the climate, it was about beautifying the climate, beautifying my world. So when we're playing today with beauty, beauty can come in all different ways. So I want to invite everybody into this fun experience to tell us stories where beauty has touched you in some way, so that we can appreciate and connect with your heartfelt gift. Thank you.
Yeah, it's good. So we're each just invited to share a story of beauty that we've experienced, and anyone can go when they feel ready. Yeah.
Well, I'm Diana Clare, and I too live in Ottawa. And the thing I've been really noticing the last uh, couple of years, but this spring I've really been aware, is there are a number of our neighbors who are shifting their gardens from, their front gardens from lawn to regenerative local plant, natural plants. And they're so abundant when they do that, and the beauty in them. And then you can just, for me, I can walk around the block and spend, you know, a long time looking at the different flowers that are showing, and the different shapes, the multitude of shapes that show up in the leaves and the foliage. And some things that we used to call weeds are, you know, being grown as natural there. And in fact, you can, you know, like dandelions are very good to eat. Well, you know, we used to pull them all the time. So I just, for me, in terms of just living in neighborhoods, and we've started to do that in my own garden too. So I like the idea of transitioning to a natural garden, and doing things like having bee balm for the bees, and a little bee bath, you know, with shower with water so they can actually drink, especially in hot water. And there are different things we can do to bring nature with us and have it right here. So that's my appreciation. And I'm remembering a quote that came from in Kristen Hoffman's concert the other night. I think it was something like this: the Creator kisses us with flowers. And I love that quote. So the Creator kisses us with flowers.
Thank you, Diana Claire. What a beautiful image to enter in on. My name is Danalia Castell, and as Valerie shared, I'm the host of the Listening Field. And the story that's coming to mind for me was something that happened yesterday morning during my share in the Listening Field. We had been conversing or dialoguing with air and wind. And I was sharing that the message that I had been given was to revitalize a vision project that I'd been given many years ago, which was to seek out and support communities to recognize the elder trees that are in their community. And precisely at that moment that I was sharing on screen, 4 eagles came in sight of my window, circling around and around and around. And so I'm sharing this because beauty can also show up in the form of synchronicities, the messages that come from our nature relatives precisely at the moment, either when we're speaking, so they're confirmation, or they're cause us to pause for a moment and to see the beauty that has just arrived, or to just breathe and feel with an animal who has crossed our path. So I don't live in the city at the moment. Behind me is Mother Ocean and Cole Harbor. So I'm in a small fishing village on the north end of Vancouver Island in Canada. Yes, noticing the beauty and the synchronicity with what's going on with my life is a wonderful way for me to honor my relationship to beauty and my relationship to nature and how they come together.
I can connect to that. I'm Annemarie, calling in from Vreeland, Friesland in the Netherlands, a tiny village, 1,800 people, in the middle of a lake district and on the border of a river below sea level. And I am very aware and sensitive to indeed the synchronicities that are happening around me because I'm so privileged to live between 2 lakes. So I have the birds and the swans and the geese and I don't know the other names of the birds in English, but and my cat and my dog really respond and resonate. But these last few days, the lighting is different here. The light is different. It has a different kind of quality, very, very clear. Clean is a strange word, but and it a little bit more bluish greenish it seems to be in the lighting. But the skies are absolutely amazing. So the beauty of the way the sky is lighting up
the way the clouds are dispersing and coming into form, and like feathers or like animal images I'm seeing in it. I'm seeing all kinds of things in it, and it's such a wonder. So I was having a meeting with Diana Clare the other day, and I was all the time walking away and just going outside to look. And I would say, sorry, I can't take you with me, but it's so, yeah. So just really letting that sink in. And there's also, when we got our dog, probably 2 years ago, a typical Corona dog, my husband planted a rose tree, or not a tree, but a rose bush. And we also gave that to where the people that had bred her. And so we share pictures of her. And it is absolutely an abundance of roses and of color. And I take pictures every day because I'm so touched. But today, again, there were even more than yesterday. It's really amazing. There's such an abundance. So yeah, very much in what nature is showing with all the other parts of pain and the sorrow in the world, but this beauty, and just letting that nourish and be with us and share it also. That's what I wanted to share. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to share about my mother. She is a really brilliant gardener, and she was a principal, a elementary school principal, and she treated each child like a beautiful flower, I think, and want to bring out the best in them. And so she moved to a small condo in the city, and so she said, okay, well, I'm gonna make this beautiful too, from my nice country place from before. And so she sort of recreated that gorgeousness on her balcony, and then she inspired her neighbors, to do something too. And someone who couldn't walk very well, she'd help them, plant their garden and water their garden, and they would water hers when she needed to be away. So she was creating beauty, and that created community at the same time, and support, and resilience. And so she's always had that magical quality, and I appreciate so much about her.
Thank you. And though I gave the examples, I do want to give and share an experience of beauty in the city from my heart, from this place, after hearing all of the sharings. One of the things that totally impacts me every year is this exquisite sense of Canada Day. And in Ottawa, before lockdown, almost every single year, I would travel down to the city as 100,000 people would converge. And I was always impacted to tears, actually. It would always just overwhelm me with beauty, because I would see so many people, all diversities, all different nationalities, new Canadians, older Canadians, youth, teenagers, kids, every walk of life, with this gleeful, joyful impulse to be together on a day honoring this magnificent, beautiful land that we call Canada. And it brings me to tears of beauty when I see that, and I'm in that sense of that unity. So I wanted to bring that. That's a beauty in the city here in Ottawa.
Welcome, Hillary. We're telling stories of our experience of beauty in the city. And if I can just add, because I want to follow on Anne Marie's, and then we'll bring you in. One of the things in seeing her beautiful pictures of these beautiful roses that she's been mentioning is I grew up with, my father was a lawyer in downtown Toronto, and my parents had a rose garden, a pathway of roses leading to our house in Toronto. And my father wore down to work every single day either a pansy or a rose in his buttonhole. And I was just thinking, it was like he was walking with beauty, like every day down into big Toronto, big city Toronto with the big buildings and stuff. So I was just appreciating my dad doing that. It was always gave me great pleasure to see him. He would carefully go out and choose which rose or which pansy he was going to wear. And he had a special little, almost like a vase that had water in it, that it tucked behind his lapel. So the flower was in water all day. Anyway, so yes, we can walk in beauty also.
Beautiful. I have one more little snippet, and I'm going to invite you, Hillary, to share. This was triggered or tagged by something you shared, Valerie. So in my years when a different body of water was teaching me every year, the second year I was called by the Athabasca River and the tar sands, which flows, of course, in Alberta, the province next to me, British Columbia. And one of the first messages I received, it was from the land. It wasn't actually from the river itself. And the message I received in answer to the question, how do we restore our sacred relationship with water and oil? One of the, out of three messages I received was beautify the sites and sources of water. So beautify the sites and sources of water. And so during that pilgrimage, I worked with local people who had beautiful springs, right? Like Rimby Springs, for example. They go there to gather their water. And so it was this corrugated pipe coming out of the ground, and people were inspired to paint the corrugated pipe and also to plant flowers and things around. So this way of honoring nature by creating beauty around where we're receiving our nourishment and sustenance was a big inspiration, and also inspired the water blessing bracelets that are part of my work, where people make a beautiful beaded bracelet and wrap it around the base of their water tap to remind them to say thank you to the water each time we turn it on. So I'm really being reminded through our sharings about how much nature loves to be admired and loves to hear us admire them out loud. And then that message from 2014 that was so important. So thank you.
And the question is?
Share with us an experience you have of beauty in the city.
Well, I go back to my youth in Montreal, actually. And I find Montreal to be still one of the most exciting, exuberant, most wonderful places in the world, because it's not multicultural, it's cosmopolitan. And there really is a difference in being cosmopolitan. And I remember growing up in the West End of Montreal, we would go down there for special occasions like the Santa Claus parade and shopping and whatever. But it was when I came back from my first year at university that I worked in Montreal, and in Place Ville Marie, right in the center. And the beauty that I found was the dichotomies. So going to a disco, that used to be a convent, was a fabulous experience. Going into the old port, where all the garages had been turned into restaurants, where you could bring your own wine, where they had literal garage bands. That was where the garage music movement came from. And it was in these conversions of old into the modern that was so exciting. So it was beautiful to see, to just experience that at a time in my own life when that was happening to me, right? It was concurrent with my own evolution at 17, going away to university and then coming back and being part of this vibrant, amazing city every day, which had not been my experience growing up there because I lived in suburbia with its little towns. But so that to me was the vibrancy, and the beauty came in the surprise. It was going around a corner and not knowing what you would see. And one day, a girlfriend of mine that we worked together, we decided to panhandle on St. Catherine Street, just so we could experience what that was like. And we did the craziest stuff like that. And the bar crawls down St. Catherine's for my very first strip club. And, there was beauty inside all of those experiences that actually happened probably in one summer. Was a lot of condensed into one summer that then became other experiences. But that would be mine.
Yeah, something that struck me was as Danalia was speaking, it's kind of like and those messages from the about the climate and those other messages. It was sort of like, oh yeah, maybe evolution actually values beauty, and part of the purpose of humans is to bring more beauty into the world. Like just and I just felt that resonate through these stories.
I know that Dot of the Global Silent Minute, and she often quotes someone who says, beauty will save the world, or beauty will change the world. I don't remember the author, but it's definitely something that is repeated often. And then one more thing, just as you were sharing, there's a chant that I shared for years and actually just shared a couple of days ago in the listening field. It's in Sanskrit, and it's Om Satyam, Om Shivayam, Om Sundaram. So it's the invocation in Sanskrit of the supreme truth, Satyam. And Sundaram is beneficence, so the generosity of the heart. And the third one is Sundaram, which is beauty. So to invoke true beauty, the supreme beauty. So I think that it goes way back, that frequency of beauty has a transformative and an uplifting energy. And I think that's also what artists bring, right? With their paintings and with the arts that they create. So.
Thank you. And I wanted to share on that transformative topic that in the alchemical teachings that I know of, whenever there is a very strong presence of violence in culture, the antidote is to be focusing on beauty, to diminish that polarity. It's beauty.
Well, when we launched Girl Driven Solutions, which is its first go, is we're doing a makeover of SDG 3, and a literal makeover. We've turned her. She is a woman as the current reality, and then she is being made over. And has had her first makeover done through the indigenous lens, and her second makeover is through the lens of the Ganges, and
Ganges River.
so as a female, so the Ganges as a female, and so this is Girl Driven Solutions, and our launch was the question: what is beauty, and what is it trying to tell us? And we had the most fascinating dialogue around that, and the richness of what we had: two men and six women, and what the dialogue ended up being on that was just phenomenal. And one of the most compelling pieces was is there's beauty in the darkness. Like often we will see beauty in the light, and in the light, but it's often it's finding that beauty in the darkness that I think is one of the most fascinating things. And I am coming to the place of I am tired of biomimicry. It's not about mimicking nature. It's about how do we co-evolve together and co-create together. And I think that's where we find the essence of beauty, is when we go into that relationship with nature, that it wants us to, we need each other. And yes, it could live without us perfectly well, I get, but I think there's also something about nature that it's lonely when we're not around, when we're not being nice. And I think it does. I know my squirrels really get upset when I don't talk to them, and I think that there is a relationship here that at beauty at the intersection of the relationship between people and nature, I think is something that would be fun to explore at some point.
Yeah, I've got a funny example of the beauty in the darkness is what in my town that in France it's a meme that they don't pick up their dog poop, and so there's always these dangerous poops all over on our way to path to school. But we've turned it into a fun game of looking how like these interesting and beautiful shapes all the dog poops. We take photos of them. We're imagining like this competition of who made the most beautiful poop on the sidewalk. We're like, look at that one! It's like standing up on the edge. It's all symmetrical. That's so cool. Take a picture of that, mom. Okay, but I want to transition us into the next activity. I think Danielle had a nice segue. You were talking about the artist and that energy we bring out to the world, and so let's take us into the next activity, Diana Claire.
Oops, unmute. I just want to share that one of the very moving body prayers that I've done for years and learned through the Navajo teachings, which is beauty walks. And I don't know, perhaps at the end we can do that together because it's fairly simple, and it's an acknowledgement of beauty is everywhere, including inside of us. So just bring that forward. So our next activity is we want to take this beauty, this energy of beauty and the love that's in beauty, and co-create together. So the idea is we'll spend when I think we'll just stay together as six, and we're going to take 5 minutes in silence, and everyone can journal and ask beauty what it wants to say or whatever, just generate things. And then we're going to come together and create something that would be beauty expressed in the city. So one of our ideas was it could be, we could imagine it as a ad on a bus, so that whatever we come together to express is moving through the city. Or it could be a big mural on the side of a building, or it could be, I don't know, you see, that's what we're going to do together. So the first part of it is just us with ourselves generating ideas that we'll then share together. And we'll take 5 minutes, and I'll be the timer for the journaling. You can sketch. You might want to get some paper and magic markers or colored pencils or something that we will use when we're collaborating together. And I think you mentioned the mural board. Kara, are we going to use that or not?
We'll decide together at the end when we've decided what we're creating, if we want to do it on the mural board or if we just want to kind of, someone does something in their own space and shows it.
Okay, so any questions about this first section? You had 5 minutes. Have a little chat with beauty, and
yeah, you can draw on all these stories and what's like the essence message coming up. Yeah.
Okay, about beauty, about what we heard each other say. Okay.
Yeah, and you can go off. Yes, people are stopping the video if that feels better, and then I will call us back in 5 minutes.
So I did a bus ad. It said that flowers are a kiss from God. Make your space beautiful. And imagined a mural. It says beauty is everywhere. And I imagined some graffiti stickers on things that are ugly. And it says, what if beauty is our purpose? And just some sort of image of being odd down low with a snail or something.
Anne-Marie, do you want to go?
Sure. So I had a very much a swirling. I don't very much often do any drawing whatsoever. So, but anyway, I enjoyed doing the swirling, and I just happened to have a box where all the same, this kind of same kind of like pinky shade of colors came up. So, and it was nice too, because I was kind of like a little bit reluctant, to be honest, tired. But then I really enjoyed the swirling. Yeah, yeah. And it's also very much connected to the colors of the roses. But your words just now, wow, they're like a poem. They're really beautiful how you are all speaking about these phrases. So that's really singing with me. And then there was the fairies, and behind me is a new painting of my husband, and that he recently made. And for me, somehow, I don't know why, but it felt to me like a fairyland, which is very much not the way he does it. He usually is, the other one is one, but he also has a lot of these stripes, all inspired by nature and the water and the trees. But this one somehow, I don't know. It's to me is very much. So I'll just bring it closer to you. So you can just have a look. Oh, I don't know if that works actually. I think I'll need to bring the painting. Well, somebody else goes. I'll bring the painting closer.
It's the one right over. Yes. Wow. Yes.
Oh yeah, that's nice up close.
Yeah, playland. Beautiful.
And I'm seeing. I have this capacity somehow to see hearts in everything,
Beautiful.
and I'm seeing that here
So
too.
beautiful.
And also, in plants and in trees and in stones. So yeah. Anyway.
Well, it's so funny about fairies because today a friend of mine, he's in Italy, and he posted a picture, and it had these most amazing, we call it sunset in Tuscany, and he's the dean of the design school for George Brown, and I put in, it looks like the fairies are visiting, like, and he said, and and he immediately came back with, that's what I thought too, and it's not the kind of guy that you would normally imagine talking about fairies. So, I think it's, again, come back to Danalia and that conversation she spurred some months ago about the realm of the fairies and how active they are now becoming, and they're showing up in some really interesting places. That painting is beautiful.
So mine was so this is I did left hand drawing because that lets me tap into something. So it was the what I wanted to do, the beauty walks. So beauty walks before me, and beauty walks behind me, and beauty walks to my left, and beauty walks to my right, and beauty walks above me, and beauty walks below me, and beauty walks within me. So in the so then I was taking from what we said. So it has with nature, a lot of us mentioned nature, and then people, the different expressions with people and beauty, and then I had the different forms, like I would made a cathedral and a adobe building, like how architecture can be beautiful and beautify a city. And here I took Hillary's expression that it's the intersection between humans and nature, so the coming together. And then the beauty below was beauty in the darkness, and beauty above was the cosmic, the cosmos, the sky. And then the center would be beauty within us. So all of that's within us. So that's what came out for me. And then I had the words around, which we actually, several people have said, but wonder and play and admiration. And then I had beauty in form. Yeah. So now our job is to take all those wonderful ideas and see, I'm wondering if there's a way of bringing, like if we were to create something, let's say for Ottawa, since we're the Spirit of Canada dialogue project, what might it be that we can take these ideas and bring them forward? Hillary, you're...
Yeah, I actually love the idea of actually creating a walk, and that format that you have, about, you know, to the, you know, to the left, to the right. It's a medicine circle, right? And it's a medicine wheel in many ways. It's a beauty medicine wheel. And and I think that creating it in a physical place where people would, on this part of the journey, you're exploring this, and then you come back to center, and then on this part of the walk you've experienced this,
Hmm.
and you come back to the center, and then and so it could actually be, and you could do it virtually, but I think the physicality, and there's so many places in Ottawa that you could situate
Hmm.
that and it could be a template for other cities to be able to take this walk and situate it in different locales, but have that template. And I think some of the kind of advertising for it would be what Kara had on her bus and on you know, I think it's a way of integrating that. And but it's also, there's also an art experience like what Anne Marie just did, you know, in terms of you would have canvases set up, and people could be would be able to draw what they're experiencing, and that's the surprise in terms and how they come off guard. So something that takes them off guard, that would be like that art. But I think the centerpiece, and it's also, you know, what Daniela was, the movement, the sense of movement, the sense of sound, you know, that you're in the city, you're in the, you know, you're in that movement, but you're exploring beauty. I just think that you have a template there, Diana
Hmm.
Claire, that can be, that our other stuff can actually interconnect to.
Hmm.
Well, I want to build on that because we talked about the collective perspectives and
Mm.
all these different. So, walking with beauty, I just love that. I love it, came up for me too. But, you know, in this day and age of technology, having a walk with beauty means very easily from each person being taken off guard by beauty. They can take a picture of something, they can record it with their phones, right? And it can be easily delivered for everybody to see that somehow in some way. So I just want to throw that in there
Hmm.
because then it gives people of this generation that immediate, oh, click, you know, it's captured. We could give everybody a little pin with water and a flower. I just love that.
I
Walking
wish
with
I'd
beauty.
saved it. I wish I'd
Yeah.
saved my dad's buttonhole.
Sweet.
They do that for weddings. Like that's the and it's because, you know, God knows how long you are standing around in a wedding, you know, for the boutonnieres.
Yeah,
It's a very clever invention.
it is. My dad's were silver, right?
Oh my God, they're not the plastic stoopy thingies that we
No,
have.
no,
No, no,
no, no, no, no.
they were the
They
real
were the
ting,
real thing. Yeah,
real ting.
yeah. I'll tell another story about my dad because it was about beauty. Is he had suits made to measure, but he was really dapper, and of course he had to wear conservative suits for work.
A
That was
lawyer.
required in those days. But he had every suit he had made lined with different colored silk fabric. So when my father opened his jacket, you would see bright red, emerald green, patterned. I mean, I just love that he found a way to bring in uh, quite feminine, actually,
Yeah.
while he was in a very conservative place. Anyway,
So that's the surprise of beauty.
yeah.
There you go, taken off guard. And Kara, you know, even photos of poop would work.
We had a here in Britannia, there's a little hub. It's an old village now, part of Ottawa, and they've taken the corner, which has a new an ice cream shop and a bakery. This is all new, and a dog grooming place, and you know, various things. And they've painted the road so that where the four, the corners come together, the walks are now these incredibly vibrant. Local citizens did them really fun, multicolored, and I think, okay, this is really beautifying. And the ice cream shop has Muskoka chairs, or big chairs in multiple colors. So it's lining the corner of the street with every color.
Lovely.
Like it's like, okay, it's vibrant.
Lovely.
So that's another beauty. All right, more stories. All right, what are we going to do together? I like Hillary's idea. We could actually make it some sort of physical, people get to physically share. Any other ideas that come that we could collaborate with? We've only got a few more minutes before closing this, so I think.
I thought when you were saying that, like the beauty walk, like in hospitals, there's like a red line you follow, like to get to
Yeah,
where you're going. So you make the beauty walk like that. You color it like on the roads and paths somehow with like, then it turns into string at some point, and then it's like somebody's woven something, and then it's like little stones or some, I don't know, some kind of uh, beauty walk that leads you
yeah,
on a path of surprises.
that'd be fun.
Be very fun. I love
But
that, like
would
the threads of beauty. It's like,
Ooh.
and the fact that it's all different materials means that you have to kind of watch out for it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you're used to following the string, but then the string's going to turn into something else, and you got, recognize it when it goes to stones and follow the stones, and it's seeds, and you're down on your hands and knees. It's
but wouldn't it
worms, but they
wouldn't it be
move.
sort of wouldn't it be sort of fun to put it in a place you'd least expect, like a courthouse? Or like when you said a hospital. I think that there's versions. There's different versions. There's the more typical version, which is beautiful outside and the walk. But wouldn't it be sort of fun to do guerrilla art where all of a sudden the beauty walk would show up in places you would never expect them to? Like in a grocery store, or in a courthouse, or in a place where people are numb, and I think that the more that they show up in places you least expect, that brings back the surprise, the feeling of coming off guard. But it's also saying there's beauty in some very strange places.
Yeah, like a beautiful mural on a dumpster in the back of some
Yeah.
terrible place. Yeah. Okay,
Mm.
how can we represent this together? Do you want to put some stuff together on the mural board? Just some sort of sticky notes and
Yep.
okay.
I was late because I was in a neurodiversity workshop, and the facilitator there were 120 people that went onto the Zoom whiteboard
Jeez.
created all together. It was crazy. Talk about neurodiversity. You looked at all kinds of, and Andrew, there were lots of hearts. There were lots of hearts and lots of swirls.
The one last thing that occurs to me is, of course, going a little bit more digital, but yeah, just the idea of, could you create a walk, but it's through digital slides and things
Yeah.
potentially hidden in the images, or maybe there's something you're finding within the image that is the link to the beauty, or to the next one, or something. I mean, it's another expertise and layer, but yeah, it feels kind of fun. And if there was music or something, so people could have their headphones, and of course then there's the experiential digital spaces that people are creating, those multi-dimensional ones, like the Sparkleverse was last year with World Unity Week.
Yeah, because then it can be from cities all over the world.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
You could enter through a landmark. I mean, again, it takes someone who can recreate some of those pieces, that has the skills like Kara, and then someone else who has that tech that can take you into those worlds.
Yeah, and people do virtual things now, so there's nothing there, but then you go with your phone, and then there's a big sculpture hanging over the river by the bridge. Those are happening already, so
Augmented
could
reality.
be
Yeah.
one or two of those. Yeah.
Well, if we did it virtually, I'd like to have one of the places that we visited would be Damanhur and the temples of humanity, because they
yeah.
are stunning, stunning works of art. And that was a temple built, dug out of the a mountain by
Is
humans.
is still being done.
Still being done, yeah. Oh my gosh, worth
On my bucket list.
a visit. Are we supposed to click on the mural board here?
Yeah, and then you can just add some sticky notes of some of the ideas, I think is probably what we have time for to do today.
How do you get a sticky note?
It's the second one from the top. It looks like a square with a little fold up. And it says text actually, and then
Oh,
the
okay.
stickies are underneath that.
Oh, got it.
Little
Okay.
pop up comes out, yeah. When I put a sticky on it, like zooms me into that. That's a bit annoying.
Mine's black. Oh, I guess I have to do this.
And so you can search for images using the little mountain icon, and then there's a search bar that comes up.
I'm
So you
gonna
can
get my
see.
own image.
Is it Walk with Beauty or the Beauty Walk? Which is it?
I think Walking with Beauty is
Walking
sounds
with Beauty.
nice, eh?
Walking on sunshine.
I do need to say to you that that is a Navajo cultural
Yes.
Oh yeah.
everything. It's everything. So I would say switching the order might be appropriate, unless we're going to acknowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how anyone else feels about it, but I meant to say it before when the expression came up, because it's a direct derivative from
Yeah,
the Navajo.
that's what I said. It was
Yeah.
that I had learned from the Navajo. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So I don't know that we can, that changing the order changes it. So
Could we not just acknowledge where it's from and recognize that I don't see I don't see that as misappropriation personally. That's my own personal view, but I think I recognize others might.
I think part of it for me is that I think we found some other qualities like playfulness and, like where we've been going with it feels unique to us. So that's what I'm wondering, if there's another word with beauty that is more invitational, the more active, dynamic. That's where I'm going. Is a title that's more congruent with the frequency that we've tapped into.
then walks, you mean?
Yeah. That's just all. It's just a question mark, right? It's like what actually are we enlivening? There's something playful about where we're going with this. That's what's really speaking to me, and the curiosity and the discovery.
Do you want to sing a bit, Danielle, and see if some words come out of that?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, the word connection is coming up, like beauty connections, or it's there's something about we're connecting with each other, and we're connecting with beauty, and we're connecting with the place where we live. So there's something about that weaving. Let me see what else.
Surprised by beauty.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Avant-garde.
kaya kai makawi kaya mawi kayo kai makawi kaya kai makawi kaya mawi kayo kaya mawi kaya mayo Hiya, hiyo, hiya, hiyo, hiya, hiyo, we, kayama we, kayama wapayo, kayama kaya. Kaya makawi kaya Kaya makawi kaya mawi kayo Kaya makawi kaya
So did anything come out of that for you, Danalia?
Oh, it's more of an energy. I think I was hoping something word-wise was going to come out of it for you. In hearing. Da 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 da. Da 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 da.
Oh, nice.
Da, 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 da. So that's
Oh, I
what came
like the
through. I mean,
circle ones. Oh, sorry.
yeah, no, that's fine. I just didn't know if that stimulated any words for other people. It's really in the song for me. I like the surprised by beauty. I like that a lot.
There's something about when you say takes you off guard. So for me, it's something about my heart kind of like goes open and takes over. So I don't know if it's not so much that I'm guarding something, I think, but there's something that just, yeah. So it's like I get so filled up with that. Yeah, I don't know how to say it differently.
Well, I know Hillary used the word explosion of beauty at one point, you know, that, and you're doing, so there's which is feels like an energy, right?
Yeah, there's a sense of emotions, and there's also a sense of tears. So for me, yeah. So for me, then, and that can be also in especially in these small little tiny things that suddenly, you know, I could just suddenly feel it open up like that. So, so I can resonate with, like, when you're taken off guard, you kind of like go, ooh, something like that. But this is that can also happen for me. But there is also this grounding. So it's not like when taken off guard, if I'm taken off guard, I can topple over. Whilst this is kind of like also coming in like a surprise, but it actually grounds me, because it's nearly a full body experience that then comes. Oh my goodness, it's so beautiful here again.
So, Anne Marie, maybe you could send if we could get, like, you know, the clouds you sent me the other night, because there were angels in the clouds.
The wings and the angels, yes. I could put that in now as well.
Yeah, I just downloaded that. Boy, I'd love to use that as one of the graphics for.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah. Of course, we did air, right? And
Yeah,
oh my
yeah. That's
goodness.
I posted it on my Facebook with the day of the air
Yeah.
because it was that same day. So I thought, oh, that's nice. I'll link it to that.
Yeah, perfect.
I love it when you Google and see what comes up. So I've been doing different Googles, and this one, like for the images, surprised by beauty is all cosmetic.
Yeah.
It's just fascinating what the various options are.
Oh, there we go. How did you get that picture in there? Anne-Marie's picture.
I just I go to I went to now to your to my WhatsApp with you, and I just copy that image, and then I go there and I do Control V, and then it just lands there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I put the flower, the roses, and the sky now. The more orange red one is what? Well, not now. Now it's even. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
No, you can't see it.
Tara, I wanted to give you permission to play around with all the image I put in. I couldn't rotate things, and I
Okay.
just
Oh, you can do whatever you want, and if mine are too big or too small, no problem. I'm just,
Yeah.
Mm.
Is this your place? This beautiful sunset here? That's nice. Big one.
I was. That's a different type of beauty, I would say. I was this afternoon. I was at my son-in-law's presentations of their first year projects, and that was lovely. And then he invited me to join him and his little team on the rooftop garden there to just take a breath outside, have a drink there. So I came there, I sat down, and they were talking with each other. Well, they also talked with me about all kinds of things. But then they were adding little sentences of songs, and then what happened was that with that just voicing the sentence, what I found out what they were doing was that then the song entered their heads, and some of these songs then got stuck. Like they were hearing that song come back again and again, and they knew from each other certain ones of those. So they would say this sentence, and one of them would say, "No, no, not that one, please, please, no, not that one," and then they would continue this conversation. So they were having this way of playing with what the music in their minds came. So I asked them, "Oh, by the way, do you see images? Do you see films?" "Oh, yeah. Films, full color, yeah, of course, full color, yes, sure. Music with it, yeah, sure, of course." And so next year I'm going to do this so that we would have a serious conversation at the same time. So these young men, they were. It filled my heart with so much joy that I could see that they are at a system in university where they're not being tested, but they're being challenged to bring forth whatever they want as their way of learning and then also being appreciated like that. How free they were to speak and to play. So there I got this, when I was driving back, I got this explosion again of my heart and tears, and oh, so lovely that that's possible for these kids to just have mentors, teachers that are creating these kind of settings. IT boys, IT. Yeah? So they're building what apps and firewalls and whatever. But such joy.
wow.
Yeah. So another beauty for me, really beauty.
I added a picture from Damonhurst there, but I can't make it any bigger. I don't know how to do that. It's this one.
Yeah. You must have such beautiful images of Canada. I mean, your nature is so magnificent as well, with the mountains and the waters and everything.
That's true. We live in beauty
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yes, and also, I mean, where I'm living, it's a small fishing village of 175 people. I am also surrounded by clear cuts and booms at 4 o'clock every day because they're blowing up the roads across the sound from me to log more. And there's a fish farm. There's 3 fish farms right out over there, and there's another one down where I go to sit with the Sitka spruce elders. So I'm in a place that's it's both heartbreaking and really beautiful. And that's anywhere you're in the northern part of Canada, you're in the extractive lands. So it has that paradox. Yeah.
Kara, it's 4:30. Do we have to respect the time?
Yeah, 4:45 was the time that we have to respect, but yes, I think we're about done.
Okay.
Yeah,
So can you do a screen share so we can see people and the picture
sure.
that
Yeah,
we've created
yeah,
together?
That was fun.
It was fun.
it's a great
And
idea.
yes, I heard it from Dan Leah, but yeah, I want to acknowledge what Dan Leah put in the chat is that Valerie was
Nice.
the original one who
Is
got
that
us connected
another
to the
one?
fairy realm. Oh,
Yes, the story goes, I was in Iceland in 2013 at an event on enchantment, and we actually got to experience, some of us, visually seeing fairy, and the Icelandic culture has a very strong relationship with them, so much so that they have a ministry that's paid money to relate to the fairy realm there, because they interfere with the building of roads and stuff if they're not consulted, and they will ruin equipment. And so and you can hear stories, everybody has seen one. And so part of the work during that 4 days was to connect to a future and a vision with fairy integrated again into the world, which is a state of enchantment.
wow.
Yeah, so the people that really work with that realm, Keith and Anne, much more so than I do, have a very strong practice.
Wow.
There's a story from, I think it's Wales, where a town was going to pave over for parking a grass area. And it was voted down because it was the fairies' playground.
Ah,
So it actually, I mean, it's interesting that there are enough collective energy believing in that realm that they would stop something like that, right?
And I
Yes,
just want to
and
acknowledge Anne Marie's painting. It was
mm,
Yes,
beautiful.
very
We were talking about
beautiful.
the fairies when you brought it in, but
mm,
It was the
it's
second painting, right?
yeah, beautiful. The second one, yeah.
Are you the one just now? The heart?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's. I hadn't unpacked it yet, and suddenly I thought this is a nice moment to unpack it. So it's a smaller one, but for me it's also very much a heart, and it's also
Yeah, it's
Wow,
beautiful.
beautiful.
mm.
Really
yeah.
beautiful. Very nice. Wow.
it's very you can you can't it's goes it's not
Lots of layers to it.
yeah, exactly, lots and lots and lots and lots of layers. Yeah. Oh yeah, well, I'm lucky.
Look at that. She just moves with with ease and swiftness, and look at that already on there.
It's hard to. Great. Yeah, so this is what we've created, a beauty walk for Ottawa,
Thank
and
you, Val.
that would be an adventure of surprising beauty that anyone could, say, "Oh, do you want to go for the beauty walk tonight?" And walk and talk and share, and have a few little moments on the way, and then have your first kiss, and or resolve that conflict that you wanted to talk about.
You've got a
Yeah.
romance novel sitting inside you, I think, Kara.
No, that would be neat, Kara, just taking it a step further, that the beauty walk was designed for those who were in a state of division and conflict to walk through and
Mm.
meet in a cafe and have a conversation after.
Oh, wow.
Mm.
So underneath in the yellow, I have beauty is within, but I can't get the text so that it's on the yellow.
Which,
Beauty in the dark, beauty
yeah.
within, and then it had,
Oh, yeah, like that?
yeah, but they're nested.
On
So,
purpose, okay. But you want the text out of the yellow
well,
and
but I
above
want it,
instead. Yeah.
but then can we make the yellow so people know that it's beauty within?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, beauty within.
Yeah, that would be fun. You're having a conflict. Time to go for a walk in beauty. That's a virtuous cycle.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to put that there.
And no sharp objects along the way.
But there's sticks.
I know. I was thinking of sticks and stones
Wow, here we
or
are.
water bodies.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So, what do people want to try the actual body prayer from Beauty Walks
Sure.
as a partially as a way to close? So,
Yeah.
if yeah, we could do
That was
it.
beautiful. Thanks, Kara.
Yeah,
Thank you.
All of
really
us.
fun to have that board to work with. Mm. So, if we can stand up, because it does work better. I'll see if I can get
I got headphones in, so it's a bit.
well. You can do it sitting down, but sometimes standing up is better. So it's with hand movements. So, you know, beauty is before me. And then beauty is behind me. And beauty is to my left. And beauty is to my right. Beauty is above me. Beauty is below me. And beauty is within me. So let's all say it together, and we'll keep it fairly slow like that so we can be in each time. So beauty is before me.
Beauty is before me.
Beauty is behind me.
Beauty is behind me.
Beauty is to my left.
Beauty is to my
Beauty is
left.
to my left.
Beauty is to my right.
Beauty is to my
Beauty is to my
right.
right.
Beauty is above me.
Beauty is above
Beauty
me.
is above me.
Beauty is below me.
Beauty is below me.
And beauty is within me.
And beauty is within me.
Blessed be.
Blessed be. Thank you.
Mm,
I didn't strangle
thank
myself.
you. Well, and that actually reminds me, I have a little 45-second video that we could maybe put in the mural. I'm singing that song actually to a tree in Cape Town, South Africa. So
Wow.
yeah, I forgot because there's a song that a chant that said has that.
Wow, there's a surprise, a beautiful surprise, a synchronicity.
I know. Yeah. You know what I keep hearing when we say beauty? I have a right brain word association game that's called a coyote tea party. And the coyote tea party finishes with a coyote surprise. It's when we say something that comes out of our mouth and then our jaw drops. We're just shocked. And that's when the game is over. So every time I hear a beauty surprise, I'm thinking of the coyote surprise. So I like that a lot. Look at us. And Valerie. Valerie doesn't have immersive view.
She's still here though.
She's in the television room. She's watching us all on TV. Hi,
Where are
Valerie.
we? Where are we?
Just in the random forest.
Oh, good. I like random. I just
Where we can get off guard.
We're having our beauty walk.
you know what I'm doing? I'm moving myself.
Trying to get him over
So
there.
I'm not in front of.
It looks right to me. I don't know if it looks right to everyone else because, oh no, I'm not mirrored, so it should be okay.
Look at
So
your head,
Dana,
Diana
do you
Claire.
have the chant? Do you have the chant? So we.
Oh, I was just gonna find it. Yeah, it's on my disk drive. Here it is. It'll take me a moment.
You did this with the canoe. The last time I saw you do this, Kara.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, here it is, right here. So would I share screen and play it? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, please.
Okay, let's see if we can.
Might have to turn off immersive.
No, wait. I just want to
Get a
take
screenshot.
Wait.
Okay,
Let's make this screenshot.
go back.
We need a screenshot. There. That's fun.
Okay, so screen share, share
Fun
sound,
times in the city.
and that's it, right?
We're
And
not
then
in the
just
city.
play?
I
We
know,
should be in a
that's why I
city.
think it's funny.
Way to get out of that beautiful city.
Okay, are we ready?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. That's the melody. I walk in beauty for me.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, your favorite tree.
So everyone was singing that and moving around No Pupila. That's Bel Hombre. He lives beside her, but it's I walk in beauty. Beauty is before me. Beauty is behind me, above and all around me.
Wow, beautiful. Thank you.
Lovely.
You're so good. Right in the moment. Right in the moment. Now we're in the graphic. We just travel everywhere on this thing. Like, oh my God, it's fantastic. No need for pills. Or drinks.
Memories in the city.
I'm with justice and healing. And there we are.
Of course you are.
Would end up there, wouldn't I?
Of course, Daniela's in the canoe. On the river.
Get you right in there. Oop.
Gotta get a screenshot of this. Hang on a second. Don't move her. It's just this is too much fun. All right.
Okay. All right. How should we close? I didn't design anything.
Thank you for letting me come late, and thank you for welcoming me in late. And I'm really glad that because there was a moment there I went, oh, I'm going to be late. I don't want to interrupt. But oh my God, thank you because this has been so lovely.
Been beautiful. It's been fun.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Playing with beauty today.
I know.
Yeah.
You
It
can
was
go hang
such
out
a
with the
relief.
fairy there in the.
And it was, for me, it was such a beautiful relief. I've been in, the listening field and kind of really formal, serious things all week, and even from the ceremony. And so it was really fun to just be ourselves and be together and
Oh,
play
where's
and
Karen?
be cash.
Karen's somewhere in the temple.
Oh, yeah. Oh, look at her, Hillary up there, the building. Oh, that's so funny. Where are you, Kara? Where
I'm
are you?
hiding. Did you find
She's hiding in the
me?
temple garden.
I there she
Oh,
is.
there she is, Temple Garden.
I love the paddling.
Okay, we have a lot of fun
Okay,
here.
bye everyone.
Thank you.